All right, peace, everyone. Welcome back to the Piper Carter podcast. I'm your host, Piper Carter. We're on the Detroit is Different podcast network. Go ahead right away, like, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube. Let your friends know. And guess what? This is a very, 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 very special edition because we have a Detroit legend in the building, original Detroit hip hop legend. And so I'm just very honored and blessed and excited to bring you the one, the only Njeri Earth.
Peace. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Let's just say right away, you have a new podcast.
Yes,
Let's let folks know about this podcast because it's a very important podcast.
absolutely. Absolutely. The Mother Tongue Show is a podcast that pretty much I've decided during the pandemic is when I decided to come up with a podcast. It hasn't, started yet. I just started like a preview episode. So it's going to be coming soon, but it's revolving around women in hip hop and pretty much just giving credit to the lady MCs that I grew up listening to, the ones that paved the way, the sisters who have are underground, who don't get the shine, don't get the notoriety, don't get the recognition, and just the opportunity for women in hip hop to have our own platform, which I'm very grateful. For years you have been doing that, spotlighting women in hip hop, and just to be able to have another outlet, I figure that's a beautiful thing to do. So it's gonna be coming soon. It's in the works still, but hopefully I can get some of the brightest and the best ladies that we listen to coming up. MCs from different countries locally, and just have sisters get on there and you know speak their piece, speak how they feel, listen to some of their music, and keep it going for the ladies.
So we definitely will be some of your biggest supporters. We definitely gonna be whatever support you need in any capacity. Our whole team is 100% with you, and just so grateful that you're doing this platform and that it's you that's doing this platform. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who is of the culture, knows the culture. And I love your promo because you're like, no whack MCs. And
No, no
yeah,
pole sliding,
yeah,
no pole sliding. No, I don't want to say the word, but
I
yeah,
got
we're
you.
not doing that. It's only going to be conscious ladies, women with a message, women with a purpose. It's too much of that other stuff that's all up in our face all the time. So we need an outlet for, the real, for the real, for the truth.
Yeah, and so just want to acknowledge Book Brown is in the building and say what's up to you in the chat.
Book,
And
book.
who else? Oh, it says Knowledge Infinite 71 is in the building. Say what's up to you in the chat. Okay, so just wanted to acknowledge that. So let's get into it. You are, I mean, when we think of Detroit hip hop, if I say Injuri Earth to anybody that knows about Detroit hip hop, immediately like they stop and salute. They give respect. Your lyricism, your concepts, your originality, they respect your creativity. We respect your creativity. I mean, just everything that you bring. So just want to give you that like right off the bat so folks know, because there
I,
might be some newbies.
I appreciate it. I really do. It's an honor to, especially with, like we were talking before we went live, to have the younger generation, what, Z? Is that what it is?
Hmm.
After X, I think we're Generation X. I think I'm Generation
Hmm. Yeah.
that. I lost count. It's like Z, and then I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. But
Hmm.
we have younger generations of people who they like, yo, you got some flame, you got some flow. I like what you're doing. That's very inspiring because you think after a point in time when you hear all the music that's playing on the radio now, you listen to it, and I'm not even gonna lie. I've listened to some of the styles of rap that are out now, and I'm like, that's cool. And I've tried, I've said to myself, I've tried to do those newer styles of rap. And it's not that I can't do it, but it's not in me. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
part of my natural rhythm. So sometimes when I do my rhymes, I'll be thinking, I know young people hear me and they like, oh, here she go with that old, you know, that old school hip hop flow. But for young folks to appreciate it and grasp it, that's like golden right there.
Let me just say that you don't have an old school hip hop flow. Like back in the day, you had a future flow. And so the
Hmm.
beats and stuff, because I went back and re-listened to all like every single one of your songs. Like I did 100% of your past projects.
That
And I'm like, she you were on something futuristic like back then. So I
yeah.
think that the young people are like, you know, your audience, you know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
almost like because I could hear a lot of the lyrics, the frustration, what was expressed was frustration, right,
Hmm.
of a lot of the current conditions, which are
Yeah.
still conditions and have gotten worse in many aspects and gotten better in some
Right.
aspects. But I hear just everything that's going on now. I hear it in your music then, and I'm like, wow, she was so far ahead, like so
Mhm.
far ahead. You know what I mean? So I think that's may have something to do with it. Can you speak about like I don't know, just like being like I'm gonna say like a black futurist maybe in hip hop?
Wow. Um, I mean, honestly, I can't I can't speak to it like I claim it, like I know that's what I am. Um, when I rhyme even 20 years ago, it was basically like what I felt. It was just what I felt. Um, whether it's looking into the future or dealing with the present, it was just pretty much what I felt, some from I think now as I'm older, I put more of my personal experience in the music. But beforehand, some of it was personal experience, some of it was experience of other people just from observation. A lot of it was knowledge and information that I learned. So, a lot of times when it comes to truth, truth don't get old. You know,
Mhm.
thing about truth, like the truth is the truth, and it's gonna be the truth once you die, once I die, once the next generation comes. That's still the truth.
Mhm.
I think that's the saving grace that you know helps me to not you know I guess fade out or seem as though my rhymes are old school or seem futuristic in a way.
Yeah, and your new project Mother Tongue, I want to like get into it like a whole bunch. And okay, first I got to ask you this. How many of the songs did you produce on this current the project itself?
On Mother Tongue, I believe I'm gonna have to grab one of my CDs so I can look at it. Mother Tongue, okay, can y'all see
Yeah,
it?
cop that immediately. Get that
Njeri.
Bandcamp. Go to Bandcamp and get it.
Yeah,
Spend the dough.
and okay, so on this album, I produced Keep 6 Feet. I produced Late at Night, co-produced with Mark Swami Harper. I produced When Things Went Wrong and Therapy. So I did four. I produced four.
And is it 14 tracks on
Yep.
that one? It's 14 tracks, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that is that a departure for you to like do let produce less tracks? Because didn't you produce like most of your other projects? Did you on the other projects? Did you produce like all the music, or did you work with other producers before? Because I kind of know you also as a MC producer.
Right. I did on my previous albums, a lot of it was me producing with maybe like two tracks from other people. And I mean, I think I did that a lot. One of the reasons I did it was very early. I've been doing music since I was young. And ever since I was 10, 11 years old, I've tried to put together groups and bands, whether it's a hip hop group or an actual musical band, have different people who have talents come together and, do our thing as a band and a group. And every time I tried that, it was always drama. It's like the more people you bring into the mix, a lot of the times, I'm not saying all the time, if everybody's on the right page and same accord, things could flow smoothly. But the more people you bring into the mix, the more problems. The more opinions, the more, just things that could kind of go wrong or hold you up. So I think a lot of the reason I did that is number one, I wanted to highlight myself and my own production, but I didn't feel like dealing with all of the extras that came with using other producers' music on your album. Um, this time around, I was just ready for a different feel. I wanted something different. Um, so I had different, and I tried to get a couple of women, several women producers to be on there. That was like my original goal. But I had a nice amount of brothers. I think maybe about, I don't want to misquote, but it was about four or five, I think, different producers on this album who did songs. So I was feeling everybody's track. Fortunately, I think maybe also because we're older, I'm older. A lot of the people that I was working with on the album were older, so we're more mature. We've been there, we've done that. So it wasn't a problem, getting this album done and working with a lot of different people. It took a minute. It took a minute, but that's simply because I was doing it long distance, during the pandemic, trying not to go to studios and just sending everything. So it took a minute, but it went smooth. Mhm.
Yeah, and I want to acknowledge Alea Harvey Quinn is in the chat. She is on one of your pieces on one of your projects.
Yeah.
I heard her voice and I was like, that's Alea.
I think it was Return of the Super Sister. It had to be, I think it was Ghetto Blues Part 2, maybe.
I
I think
think
it was
so.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, and it was really a powerful poem
Yes.
that she did. It was really it cut deep. That was awesome. And you have been a supporter. You're so deep, like you are so deep. I mean this in a great way, like a loving way, because I'm Aquarius and I love deep people. I love artists that make me think deeply
Right.
and that challenge my mental. Um I just appreciate your music so much and I would love to hear you speak about because you spoke about a little bit of the challenges of collaboration, but you're also very much a community person, rooted in community. So I wanted to, hear a little bit more about, you as a person, you know what I mean, in the world as an MC.
Right. Right. Well, I think that a lot of what I have done community wise, it was when I was a little bit younger, some years ago. Um, I'm a mother of six, you know, so that has kind of slowed me up a little bit in getting around and getting out and doing a lot of the things I used to do. So I haven't been as active as I was in the past, working with the youth and, going to different programs and helping out musically in the community. But my focus, like I said, right now as a mother, is pretty much around the youth. My music isn't necessarily for the youth. I think my music is more so for the parents of the youth, people who are in my generation. I mean, it's for anybody, anybody who appreciates it. But I'm older now. It's not backpack hip hop, and I think that's one of the things with hip hop that has been a problem is as an artist you get kind of stuck into this. Hip hop is a youthful music. You have to be young to do hip hop, and if you're of a certain age, especially if you're a woman, it's kind of like, are you still doing this? Like, really? Like, y'all need to be, signing up for AARP or something right about now. Um, so I try to push that to the side, not listen to those kinds of people that speak like that about hip hop because hip hop is a music, it's a culture, it's a way of life. It's what I've been doing and into since I was a little kid. And I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep on till I'm an old lady. I'm gonna be old and gray, probably be Granny Earth by then, and
Granny
still doing
Earth.
what I do. Straight up. I'm,
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. But Granny Earth, you know what? Let me tell you something. I've had the privilege
hmm
of working with two of your um young gods,
yeah,
and they transform any space that they go into. And that's only two of your seeds.
yeah,
And they transform any space that they go into.
hmm
And my experience of them really made me appreciate you. And so I feel that all parents that are there investing in their seeds, especially the way you do, that's community work.
hmm
You're
That's
building humans
my
for our
community.
community.
That's
Yeah.
my right now. That's my community because it's a lot. Being a parent is a lot, and when you're well, when you're doing it with very little help, per se, it really can take a toll on you. But I mean, hey, it's like it's my job. That's what I'm here to do. I could sit and teach other people and try to inspire other people and do that all day, but what am I doing with my own children? So that's been my focus, community wise, is just making better people to go out into the community.
Yeah. Now, and your music too, right? Your music, I would say your music is community music. For me, I feel like the music, so especially shoot, I mean, we on like 20 years now of BS hip hop music. Let's just keep it a buck. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a buck. So the music that you're making is actually food. You know what I'm saying? It's like healthy food. It's like if you go, you know what I'm saying, to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? You have like the organic food. You know what I'm saying? It's not the GMO. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the natural, nutritious food comes straight from the ground. Actually, your food is the food you get from the garden. You know what I'm saying? And we need that. You know what I'm saying? We need what you're bringing musically to the pantheon or the spectrum of hip hop. And so now that things are sort of shifting, it's interesting. We talked a little bit before about you being a futurist. Like your music is right now like the future music because the young people, they don't want to hear that mess no more.
Mm.
The younger generation, like they want what you're giving. They want like that thoughtful, thought provoking, you know what I'm saying? That interesting music
Mm.
production. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So I would say your music is community music. It's for the community. Like that's your community work too.
Oh yeah.
You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
I tried to. I was I had another. I was sitting down and speaking to someone not too long ago about how when I first started rhyming, a lot of what I rhymed was kind of futuristic, I guess, in a way, or kind of planetary, kind of high science, kind of going above people's head. And over time, I kind of learned, like, you're going to miss people like that. You're going to miss a lot of people that might appreciate your music if you just take your time and relate to them. So, again, if I'm not pulling from my own experiences, I'm observing and I'm seeing what's going on around me. And I pull from other people's experiences, incorporate it into the music, and try to come up with something that as many people as possible can relate to without deviating away from, you know, the essence of who I am. So that's my goal.
Mhm.
I try to be myself, but I try to reach as many people as I can in doing that.
And so and let's dig into okay, I wanted to go somewhere else, but let's just talk about that motherhood thing for a second
Mhm.
because um my organization, we concentrate on women and something that, we had with our open mic, we wanted it to be this space where, is for women, like centering women. And women have children. You know what I mean? So we really wanted it to be like a a space where women could it be beyond a safe space, like a nurturing space, a space that is created by the women for the women. And I've constantly had this as a conversation with a lot of the women that do have children. And you spoke before about this idea, like, what are y'all still doing rapping, or as if you're not an MC, that like that's what you do. And there's all these things, you know what I mean? Like as a woman MC, you are put into, I guess, this, like, you got to be either sexy all the time, or you need to be talking about your relationship to sex, or as a sexual
Exactly
being,
that.
like,
Yeah.
all the time. And that's a part of who we are. Like, you have a song on your project that speaks to that part of our humanity. But
Mhm.
I'm just thinking about the fullness and the wholeness of what women bring in general. And not all women, but many women, being a mother, you know what I mean? Being a business person,
Mhm.
being an artist, just managing life in general. Can you speak how you've been, moving in that type of way, like as an artist and a mother? You spoke to it a little bit, but I wanted you kind of dig into that a little bit more for, people who maybe thinking like, how can I do this?
How can I do that? Yeah. I mean, that what we talked about in the beginning of the show, the podcast, that was a big revelation to me in terms of that's what I need to be doing because again, I'm a mother. I got and I don't have the ability to I don't have childcare like that. None of that. I have children with special needs and ain't no childcare gonna take them. And I'm not I'm not trying to send them to no childcare on top of that. So I don't have those kind of resources where I can go to shows and I can go out of town and I can travel. So it became really frustrating for me to try to figure out, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to continue to do my music career where I can't really get out like that? I can't go do a tour. I can't go get on stage and honestly, I really don't want to, just to be honest. It's like I've been there, did that. I want to take it to another level. And as I just kind of paid more attention, looked and observed what's missing, what's needed, where can I fit in? That's where I realized, like, yo, it's a lot of sisters out here who they want to and they can get out there and they need to be out there. So I said, well, that could be my place. Not that I'm going to stop doing music myself, but I could be like a spokeswoman for the rest of these sisters wishing I had that, when I was coming up. But just a platform for women to be able to get themselves known and get themselves heard and recognized and appreciated for what it is we do and what we contribute. And to also give myself that opportunity to stay within the realm of music, but not make it too difficult on myself. Not, try to do things that I know I really can't do right now because of, and the pandemic doesn't help either, you know. But that I think you got to be creative. When you're a woman, we don't have that many options when it comes to a lot of things. When it comes to how you're going to make your money, how you're going to take care of your family, we don't have that many options, but you got to be creative. So that's what I mean, basically, that's what I can tell sisters out there that's doing their thing and they're trying to figure out, like, yo, I'm a mother and I'm trying to do this music or I'm trying to do this business, whatever it is. How can I do this? Be creative. Be creative. Like you say, you tried to start or you did start the program where it was like a safe space and a place for women where they could come, bring their children. We need to form more unifications and organizations like that has women with children and responsibilities and all the things that come with womanhood. It keeps those things in mind and it caters to us. We don't have that.
Yeah, maybe me and you need to collaborate. You know what I'm saying? And I
Oh,
support you and you support me and we support people, you know what I'm saying? I want to
okay.
say what's up. So Rebecca Dr. Farugi is in the building. She's written a book about women in hip hop, Oakland University, and then also it's called Women Rapping Revolution, get it? And then Sterling's in the building, Sterling Tolls. He said Njeri is one of the greatest from the city, period. And this is from one of Detroit's, producers that, supports hip hop and loves hip hop and is deeply entrenched in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I want to take it to your album. You're so interesting. There's like 50 million questions that I want to ask you. I could
Come on with it. I'm ready.
you know,
Shoot.
but I want to take you to your music because like a lot of people here are here because they're fans of yours, and they love your music and they love your artistry. They love you as an MC. But just before I get to the actual project, can we please have a conversation about being a real MC and being an MC from Detroit and being a legendary MC from Detroit, being a lyricist, okay, an actual, thought provoking writer, someone who is a master at your craft. You've been around the history. You've done a hip hop shop. If people take a quick Google to your name, they know that you've been in the movie 8 Mile. They know you was with the Jizza, yes, from the legendary Wu-Tang Clan on a project. And they can see your deep history. But I want to talk about you as a MC. Can we get inside your mind for a minute and your experience
Y'all
and
get lost.
what that was
If I
like?
let you in my mind, y'all get lost. You wouldn't know how to get out. So we're not gonna do that to you today.
Just a peek, just a peek. Because
Just a piece.
I'm trying to imagine, like, people got to understand. Okay, y'all got to understand. Back in the day, you could not step into the MC arena unless you was really an MC. And so you come from that. You don't come from the like I wrote my freestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. That's a no-no. I mean, well, you said it all right there. When it comes to lyricism, I was fortunate. That's the best way I could say it because I didn't plan to be born when I was going to be born. I didn't plan to have the genetics that I had and have a father who was into music, and I grew up listening to him do music. And I'm from Detroit. I'm from Motown, so I had Motown playing all the time. And fortunately, the time that I came up and I was of age to like really start, choosing what kind of music I wanted to listen to, what we talking late 80s, early 90s. So we're talking, oh my goodness, you want to talk women in hip hop? We want to talk about women in hip hop, like late 80s, early 90s to the mid 90s. Oh my God. I was looking back at videos on YouTube, just like looking back at women in hip hop videos. And when you look at all the different women, we can go back Sha Rock, you know what I'm saying? We can go back Roxanne Shante, we can go back Salt and Pepper, MC Light, Queen Latifah, we can go to the more current ones in the later 90s, Lauryn Hill, Bahamadia. We can just keep going and going. Eve, right? Every one of these sisters, every one of them had a message. Every one of them overall covered their bodies. They weren't talking about I'm a hoe. Can I curse on here?
Yeah, I mean it's hip hop. Yeah.
No, that's good. Um, they weren't coming with that. I'm the baddest bitch. I'm a hoe. I got the wettest this. You know what I'm saying? I could do this with my tongue and all the rest of that. Like they was talking about who you calling a bitch. Like who you calling a bitch? I ain't no hoe. I'm not giving it up on the first date. I'm not easy. Respect the woman. That's the kind of stuff that I was listening to coming up. And when it comes to the brothers was coming with high power, flames. They were coming with intelligence. They were coming with fun, everything. Like if it wasn't intelligent, it was fun until gangster rap came in. Then that's when it kind of. I was still into a lot of it, but that's when things started to like, you bitch, you this, you that, and it started to get more negative. But fortunately, I just came up at the right place, right time for me, and right genetics, right mother, right father, right experience.
And so, what gave you the gall to jump in the cipher?
I It's like I knew I could do it. I just always loved hip hop. I was always trying to write songs. I started off thinking I was gonna sing, and then I started getting into rapping, especially when I saw Salt and Pepper. That's when I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Women are doing this. I started writing, doing my thing, and sharing it with friends and family. And of course, you get feedback, and people was letting me know, like, you good at this. You good at what you do. You nice. So I just kept doing it. I just kept doing it and doing it, and I built up enough of a confidence to, know that I could do it.
Yeah, and so you were a part of the hip hop shop history, the legendary Detroit hip hop
I
shop
worked
that
at
was on Seven
I
Mile.
worked at the hip hop shop for a minute, like for a
Oh,
week.
wait. Okay, tell us about your hip hop shop experience.
I wasn't too good at folding up the t-shirts and stuff. I had a hard time getting the folds right for the t-shirts, so I think they kind of let me go. But yeah, I was there for about a week or two working, and then I would always come up and do the open mics and stuff like that. So yeah,
So tell us about those open mics, because those open mics now are like they're legendary.
man.
That's a part of like Detroit hip hop history.
If we talking about, I mean, hip hop shop for me, my biggest experience and the most memorable one that started me off with open mics was Cafe Mahogany. Cafe Mahogany, um, wow, like that was huge. I was so heartbroken when it ended. When it ended, I was heartbroken. Hip hop shop, I wasn't there as much as I was Cafe Mahogany because when the original hip hop shop was going on, I think I was like 17, or I was like in my late teens. I wasn't quite an adult yet. So I couldn't really get, out and about and be around grown folks like that, But once Cafe Mahogany, when they were doing the open mic there, I was of age and, driving around and doing everything. So that's really where a lot of my experience, and then of course the legendary Left Mind, and hosting the open mic there and doing that. And then from there, I mean, I went to like almost every hip hop night that we used to have. I mean, C Note Lounge. I mean, I go to Ebony Showcase Lounge. Like it didn't matter if they was having a little open mic at a bookstore. I was just looking for open mics. I was like hungry for like where the open. I'd be calling up people like where the open mic at tonight? Where the next open mic? Ain't no open mics on Tuesday. What? Who got an open mic? So that was the place to be in 1990 hip hop, early 2000s in Detroit. Open mics were everything for hip hop.
Yeah, and you are like, you know, sometimes when you mention like an MC or something like that, people will be like, "Hmm, you're you're one of those people. It don't matter who I mention. They could be, backpack, lyrical, fun, silly, street. You got respect. I mean, everybody respects you. Like you earn that, like just off of your skill. You know what I'm saying?
I, you know, I, I'm appreciative. I'm definitely appreciative of all the love and appreciation, but they know. You know what I'm saying? The real ones know. They know. People might not, just like with anybody else. You might not like a particular person's music, but when there's somebody who's an MC, they an MC. It's like it's not no, oh, she can't rap kind of thing. It's like that's not even a question. It's not even a question of if she can rhyme or if she's an MC. It might not be your cup of tea, but no, I'm definitely respected when it comes to MCing.
You respect it more than like 99.9% of people that rap in the world.
Dang, nah, it ain't that deep.
I'm telling you, man.
You get
People
cold.
respect you. People respect you, and it's
I appreciate
very
it.
deserved and very warranted. You know what I'm saying? So
I
so let's get into this. Let's get into this music.
okay.
Um, now I really like. I love all of your tracks. Like they have me really thinking. Deeply. Um, but I want to start with the most recent project. And can you
Yeah,
and I do want people to go to you have on your YouTube channel, you do have an entire album release and a whole album breakdown. So we
mhm,
don't have to mimic that. I want people to go there and and see that and like that and share it, like share that out because it's really dope. But I want to kind of get more into a little bit of the like your process and tell us about the making of, you know what I mean, this entire project here. And it's
this
fire, by the way.
thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, this one came about kind of interesting in an interesting way. I didn't originally plan to do an album. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and I don't know, maybe it was like a year into the pandemic or a little bit less, maybe some months. I can't recall. But I was um I was definitely about to lose my mind, like I think a lot of us were. I'm one of the people who chose to stay home, to, like just I'm just gonna distance from people. Like I don't have time to deal with this COVID virus thing. I got young children and I don't have time for that. So I chose to basically shelter in place for about 2, 3 years and stay away from this virus that is going out there because I don't know what it is and what's going on. And during that point in time of being sheltered, and I told myself like I gotta make some music. Like I just gotta write. Not necessarily to put out nothing, but I gotta create so I don't lose my mind. So I just started creating. I got some beats from actually it started off with a beat I got from my brother Lord Josiah. And actually my brother Lord Josiah has a new album out now, Time Waits for No One. So, I know he's all over Bandcamp and everything else. So look up Lord Josiah, Time Waits for No One. And he sent me a beat, the beat to the title track, Mother Tongue. And I started writing. I love the beat automatically, and I started writing. And I came up with the song Mother Tongue. And after I came up with it, I said, "Ooh, okay, so I'm ready. Like I'm ready. I'm in my writing mode. This came out beautiful. I think I want to go ahead and put together a project, and I want to call it Mother Tongue." So that's pretty much how that came into be. It's like it wasn't planned to be an album originally. It was just planned to be therapy, kind of for me to feel like myself again and to, not deal with so much anxiety and stress and all the rest of that. And then it just turned into an album.
And that beat, your music is pretty I want to say like I want to say it's intellectual because it's like when you listen to the music, there's a lot going on like in the music. You don't really have any of those kind of like simple beats. It's like just two things going on. You know what I mean? Like I call them like kindergarten rap. Like you don't have any of that. Like even like it's like the musicality actually matches the lyricism in
Yeah,
terms of complexity and things like that.
and that's another reason why when you asked about the production, I came up in the concert band in school, all the way from elementary school, from playing flute, playing percussion, all the way through high school. So I played in the concert band where you have trombone, tuba, clarinet, flute, trumpet, you know what I'm saying, saxophone, timpani, all these percussionists. You have different layers, violins, cello. It's like you have all these different layers of instruments. And that's just like a part of what I learned musically. I've learned to be attracted to all of those sounds, just the beauty of all of those sounds coming together to create something. So a lot of the times when I pick beats or when I create beats, they can sometimes sound kind of loaded. You know, it could sound kind of orchestrated, or for some people it might be too much, but it's attractive to my ear. It's like that's what attracts me, and that's what helps me to create what I create.
Yeah, so the mother tongue beat, you know, um it almost I'm trying to think of like how it sounds like it has this kind of sound like are those vocals? Like is that a vocal track?
That that
Yeah.
I want to say it is. I'd have to definitely speak to the guy Lord Josiah
Mhm.
about the sample and exactly where it came from or what it is. But yeah, I definitely want to say those are vocals, some kind of vocal samples, almost like a choir. It sounds like.
It's like a choir, right?
Hmm. It
And
sounds
it
like.
kind of sound like I mean, everybody have their own imagination, but it's like when I hear it, it's like I hear the earth. It's almost like you're like when I hear the mother tongue. Like so for me that song feels like it's the mother earth
Mhm.
speaking to her children. And it's
Yeah.
like it feels like those are the children of the earth or the children of the mother, like getting this food or getting this word or getting this wisdom.
You're getting that tongue
Um
lash
that tongue lash.
from the mother tongue.
But
Yeah.
it's just, and I feel like all the songs kind of have that. Like that the music is also speaking.
Hmm. Hmm. That
You know
was the
what I
goal.
mean?
When I put the album together, I had a goal to have the music not all sound the same, but kind of be on the same vibration. That's what I wanted. I wanted a like almost the vibration of the earth, the vibration of a woman, the vibration of a woman who had some shit to say, you know, and that's who I
I love it.
am.
Um what's your it's this is like a dumb question, but what's your
No dumb
favorite I feel you. It's like I always feel silly. Like, what's your favorite song on the project? But it's like, what are you talking about? It's my project. But if you hear
No,
to say like, but you do have a favorite?
no, that's a great question. That's
Okay,
I
okay.
struggle. I've struggled with that. I've struggled with that. Let me see. I'm gonna say it's probably it's probably a couple ties for me. The first single that I dropped was Y O Y.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love it because it's a Y, then a oh no, it's like Y dash O dash Y. So you have
Yep.
to kind of because when you saw it, it was like yoy, but then it's like
Right, right. Why? So that one, for a minute, that was my favorite song. That was my favorite song. And
and that's
then,
the single on there
yep,
because
that
it's put out as a single as well.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's the single. So it's like that was my favorite for a good minute. And what else have I really gotten into? I got into I'm Healing. I
Okay,
really got
let's talk
into I'm
about
Healing.
that. Let's talk about I'm
Okay,
Healing.
keep
That
doing
song is so funny. Okay, first of all, can we please shout out Mecca? Because Mecca, let's talk about Mecca. Because Mecca is on like how many projects is Mecca? Is Mecca's on every project? She's on every project, right? Like she's like a co-star on your projects. Like I feel like remember Sweet Tea and Jazzy Joyce? I feel like Mecca's on there. I feel like
I'm
Mecca's on
glad
like
you recognize
almost
that.
every project.
I was waiting for somebody to ask me about Mecca and just, pull Mecca out. Like, what is this with Mecca? Mecca, I don't know. Mecca is like my alter ego, I guess, to a certain degree. But Mecca is always that's always my voice. It's nobody else. That's Mecca. That's me. Um, but Mecca is like, she's that friend that every sister has. Every sister has that one friend, and she's always, you know, kind of poking at you, kind of poking at you, poking at you, trying to encourage you to, and sometimes it might not be the right encouragement. It might be, something that's not for your greatest good, but she has good intentions. So Mecca is like that sister that, she cares about you and she wants to try to get you to get out there and do things and so forth and so on. But Mecca, sometimes she gets a little out of control and a little, ahead of herself.
And I love Mecca. Like I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
And she's like, if you get all of the Njeri Earth projects, she makes an appearance
yeah. Mecca's
consistently, right?
that's my girl. That's
Okay, yeah, I love her. The wise, is she Mecca the wise one or something like that, or just Mecca?
She just Mecca. That's just
Okay.
that's just Mecca.
Hmm. I love it. Um, okay, what's one of the songs that you feel you gave like challenged you the most? And it can be challenged in any sort of way.
Mm, okay. The most when I dropped my CD just that quick. I gotta look at all my songs here. The one that challenged me the most. That's a good question. Um, wow. I'm gonna say the one that challenged me the most was Keep 6 Feet.
Oh my god,
Um,
can we talk about this concept? Like that song is so funny. I don't know if is it supposed to be funny?
I mean, I put comedy in almost all my songs. If
You
it's not
sure do.
over, yeah, I try to, because we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh at this.
That song is so funny. Can you please tell us about this song?
Well, Keep 6 Feet. That okay. So Keep 6 Feet, and I hope I don't. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter, but I always wanted to use a sample of Vanity. If any of you remember Vanity with Prince and so forth, I loved her music from her album Mechanical Emotion and all of the different songs. I just like that flavor and that style. And so when I finally came up with Keep 6 Feet and I used that sample, and I don't even know what she's saying in the sample. I don't know what that sample said, but it has a nice little ring, a little flow to it. So of course, being in the middle of the pandemic, and one of the things that we hear all the time, or we heard a lot all the time, not anymore since the whole vaccination and everything like that, but is to keep 6 feet distance from people, so that they don't spread the virus to you or whatever else. So I said, okay, that'd be a good little catchy hook to kind of throw into it. So I just kind of put it together based. It's not really a specific there's not really a specific theme of the song. That's one of the songs I would say that doesn't really have a specific theme. You could say it's about keeping 6 feet, but I'm not really talking about COVID, really. I'm not talking about the coronavirus,
Yeah. That's
COVID
what
and
made it funny because, like, when you listen to the lyrics, like, you actually are like naming. Can you talk about that part, please?
where, which part, where,
I think it's like towards the end when you just start naming all the people or what you need to keep 6 feet from. You know what I'm talking
oh,
about?
oh, wait a minute, wait. I've been trying to think. I
Because
don't.
that had me
Is
rolling. I
it
was
during the
driving.
rap? Is it within the rap, or is it like a separate part where I'm just
No, it's
talking?
like a little part you like talking and you like I'm trying to think like I was trying to remember the lyrics, but I
Yeah,
just
you might
remember
have me rap the whole song or something to try to remember it.
but it just had me laughing because like you took a concept which was or you took a phrase, I guess, that is for something totally different. And then but the way that you used it, it was in a way of like all these people and things we need to keep 6 feet from.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess in a lot of ways, kind of what I was aiming towards, because a lot of what is I talk about I talk about I don't want to say religious. I don't want to too much, poke at religion, like I'm saying keep 6 feet from it. but it's kind of like, like, okay, like with the first verse, I'm saying I got a curse for the devil, unified front, brain waves, next level definition of a rebel. So that kind of is related to what we were going through, but not exactly the coronavirus thing. If you remember, and it seems like a lot of people kind of forgot about it because we don't talk about it, but in the beginning of the pandemic, we had all of those different things, all of the what was it that what do you call those things that we had? The protest, all of the different protests that we had, the Black Lives Matter, all of that stuff going on, and all of the brothers that were getting shot. What I'm saying? It was more shootings taking place consistently. And then we started hearing miscellaneously about hangings of Black people taking place. So it's like we went through a lot through these past almost 3 years now. And a lot of what I was speaking to in that song was kind of related to that. It was kind of related to a lot of the social justice kind of issues that we were dealing with at the time.
Yeah. Oh wait, you still there?
Yep. You
Okay,
hear
yeah.
me?
Uh-huh. And so yeah, like that song, like you said, it goes in some different subject matters, and so it does make you think about, yeah, just like what are some more things that we need. The song questions like, what are some more things that we need to be keeping the 6 feet away from?
Yeah, I mean that, as well as it was kind of like me as well, kind of like letting people know. I guess it's almost and because when you're an artist and you create a song, that's another thing. You want people to be able to relate to it. So it's like if I'm creating a song and I'm saying, keep 6 feet, stay away. Like I was saying, I think that's what you're talking about. Like at the end where I say, um, I was talking about different rappers. I think I started talking about rappers and how they're into a whole bunch of different crazy things that I'm not with, and I was saying y'all crazy, stay away from my holy babies and all the rest of that. You know, that is not, I'm pretty sure it's other people who feel that way. I'm pretty sure there's other people who, when they go places, and I love people. Don't get me wrong. I love people. I want everybody in this world to be happy and healthy and live a million years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just do that over there. You know what I mean? Just do that over there, away from me, back up, keep your distance. So a lot of that song was kind of related to that too. It was like, I'm keeping more than 6 feet. I'm staying my butt at home, staying sheltered, stay away from this, stay away from that. Just back up. Back up, give people their space, give people their respect. You know, that was kind of what the general purpose of the song was revolving around.
Hmm. And then name the song where, and it might be like trying to name which child you love the most, but name the song you love the most for your production.
Oh, for my individual production
Yeah.
on this album,
Yeah.
I was very proud of. I was proud of Keep 6 Feet. I was proud I was able to put that together. I was proud of everything I did, but when I got late at night, and Mark Swami Harper, my brother from another mother. And Mark Swami Harper was on my first album, Super Sister. Last Friday at the Plaza, I think he played keys on there. I don't think he played guitar, but he played on that. He also played on Pipe Dreams. He was the guitar player on Pipe Dreams. And so I got with Swami for Late at Night, who also has my brother Cliff Note on there, another Detroit legendary MC. So and I know he has an album that recently came out. I don't want to misquote the name of it, but look for my brother Cliff Note for his project as well.
Yeah, and Cliff Note was in the chat just today.
Okay. Oh, he
He was
left.
he was on watching this now in live.
He can't. Okay. Did he leave me? Did he leave me, or he's still there? He came.
Let's
He
see,
left.
you still. You still there, Cliff?
Oh, he just left. Okay, whatever, Cliff, whatever, whatever. But no, late at night, I was proud of the way that came together because after it was something missing. When I originally put it together, it was kind of like,
He
like
said,
you were
"Note to
talking.
self." He's there. He's in the chat. He said, "Note
There
to
you go.
self."
Note to self. Thank you, Cliff. I didn't want to say it wrong. I was gonna say like self notification or something. Note to self is the name of Cliff Notes album. Check that out. But late at night, when I first put it together, it was like it was kind of simple. Like it was it had like bass, it had a sample, and it had some drums. And I think that's all I had. And I was listening to it, and I was like, man, this needs something else. Like this needs something else. So I thought of my brother Mark Swami Harper, and I mean when Swami touched it though, see, I'm gonna have to make like a remix so y'all can hear everything that Swami put on there. Because when Swami touched it, you think I'm talking about orchestrating music, man. This man had all kind of like horns and all kind of, I had to take some of it out. It was too much for me. I was like, yo, like Swami, that's dope. But I can't rap on that. Like that needs to stand by itself as a musical piece. So I had to take a little bit of it out. And but when I blended what I did keep from Swami with my music, it just came out. It was like a powerful, funky little grown folk music kind of song. So I'm really proud of that one, how that came out.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about your production. Um are you like a MPC kind of person, or are you like where Pro Tools, or what are you working in to make your beats? And how
Well,
has that evolved over time as well?
to make and no disrespect, to when I shook my head to MPCs when I shook my head, but again, I'm not to take away from anybody that use MPCs to say they're not, because there's plenty of musicians that use MPCs, and I'm probably gonna get me an MPC one day. I've been looking at one of these little I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an MPK or what, but it's one of them like Akai's that have keys. I'm a keyboard kind of girl. I've got to have keys. I cannot do. I mean, I could do the pads, but it just feels so unnatural for me. I'm used to playing pianos and keyboards and musical instruments, so I need to be able to see my notes when I'm playing. So I started off with the ASR 10. For this, I mean that was like years ago. That was Super Sister and maybe my second project. And right now I'm still the album Mother Tongue. I think everything I did was from my chord. It was from my what's this thing called? It's sitting right in front of me. No, I'm sorry, my Yamaha, my motif. So the motif is what I was using for my most recent project. But I gotta have keys. I gotta have, even if it's some pads on the machine, I've got to have some keys.
Yeah, so can we talk about production for a minute now? It's interesting to me, I love production, and I really love finding women producers, like yourself. Can you talk about being a producer? Because it's, there's I recently, I don't know if you saw the Kanye documentary, and Cootie was the documentarian, his boy. So in the beginning stages, Kanye was going through the struggle of trying to be taken seriously as a MC or a
Mhm.
rapper, because they just wanted the beats from him. And I guess um through a certain period of time, there was like a thing like, okay, a rapper or MC doesn't make beats and they shouldn't, like, you know what I mean, like that was like a thing or mentality. So I would love to understand from you and your experience and your perspective, like what that was like for you. I mean, and add being a black woman on top of that, um you know being, I want to say, I shouldn't say taken seriously, but yeah, I'm not sure like how to really put it, but maybe being taken seriously, you know what I mean, in that type of way. Oh wait, did you freeze? Ah, shoot. I think you froze. Let me see if I can bring you back in. Hold on, let me try to call you. But while we wait for Njeri, I do want y'all to go to her Bandcamp and get the music. It's called Mother Tongue and Jerry Earth. I think she hopped out. She might hop back in. But the project is like really incredible. Like, I mean, I did spend time, going back through all of her projects, over shoot, it's like at least more than let me see, 2006. I believe it's her first project. So you got since 2006, all the way to now. So shoot, that's almost, it's not quite 20 years, but it is definitely like maybe 15 years or longer. And she has done the production on all of her projects. So before this one, she was pretty much Njeri was pretty much the main, producer. And you could kind of hear all the way through. There is a very familiar and similar thread, even though she has, gotten some other collaborators, you can hear that they are, I want to say, fans of her flow and her style, because they gave her beats that are kind of similar. um I'm gonna hit up Najiri just now and see if we could get her back on. um let's see, here we go. Let's see if we can. She kind of froze a bit. And if when you do get the project, definitely get it from oh, that's EP Groove on the line. Hey Najiri. Oh, okay. Yep, we're still on. And all your fans around here waiting on you. P Groove just hopped in. Okay, all right. So she's come okay. So she's coming on, y'all. Um I'm gonna hang up on the phone, okay? All right, let me see. So yeah, so she's coming back on, y'all. But yeah, so shouts out to P Groove, legendary P Groove, Detroit producer and MC, from a legendary group that also has some music out. Some classic music re-released, I should say that. But yeah, so Najiri, if you go back and listen like to her previous projects, you'll see that, I don't know, like if folks on here are like fans of Wu-Tang, um I know she did the song with the Jizza, but um you could probably think that you could probably see her being like one of the Wu-Tang members. I guess if you do music with Wu-Tang, then you are a member of Wu-Tang. Um or else they wouldn't put you on any of their projects. But you can definitely see or hear like that kind of introspective or serious production, in what she's doing. And here she is right here, pop back on. All right. Okay, you back?
Peace. Sorry, y'all. Didn't charge my phone up.
Oh yeah. Cliff. Oh wait, is that me? Oh no. Do you have another thing open, Njeri? Because I hear the echo too.
Let me see. No, let me double check.
And Cliff says, no, I don't hear it now. Oh, I
You
do
don't
hear
hear
it.
it? No, I think I. Well, let me look. I got a lot of stuff up. Oh Lord, why do I got this many things up right now? Mm.
Well, Cliff says that you have two songs with the Jizza.
Yes.
We were talking about your production.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see. I don't think I have another chat or anything open. But you
Let me
still hear an
see.
echo?
Let me see. Check. I do. Where do I hear it? Is it me? Maybe it's me.
I hung up on you.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. I don't know what's going on now. I
I
got a
don't
lot of
know.
windows open though, so I
Maybe
don't
close
know.
a
Maybe
few of
close
them.
a few of them. Yeah, let me try that.
So
So
Knowledge
Knowledge
Infinite,
Infinite,
'cause she was the
she was
last
the last
MC on
MC
those
on
Jizza
those
tracks,
Jizza tracks,
and that speaks
and
for
that speaks
itself.
for itself.
It does
It
speak for
does speak
itself
for itself
going
going
last, because
last,
MCs do
because
not let
MCs
you
do
go
not let you
last.
go last.
Wait, can you hear it?
What?
Is it
Can you hear
Njeri?
it? Is it Njeri? What's that? What's that about? I heard you say going last on you talking about on the 1112 on the Jizza track.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
was saying
So he
that
was saying that
that speaks for
that
itself
speaks for
about
itself
your,
about your,
lyrical
lyrical
swordswomanship.
swordswomanship. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, that was a blessing. That was a serious blessing. I didn't expect to ever be on a Wu-Tang Clan project. I listened to Wu-Tang coming up as a young MC, and when it happened, it was like, wow, like I'm really in the studio with RZA and Jizza, and I'm looking at like you God, and like they're right here in front of my face, smoking weed and playing chess. Like, wow. Like this is a dream come true. It
Yeah,
was. Yeah, it was.
and
It really
and I
was.
want you to
And I
talk.
want you to talk.
I want you to talk
I
more
want you to
about
talk more
your
about your
production.
production.
I want to
Okay.
hear
I
about
want to hear about
your
your
production, and
your
I'm gonna be
production. And I'm
quiet
gonna
because
be
I'm
quiet because
echoing.
I'm echoing. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, what's the question though? What you want to know?
So
So
when you were
when
coming
you were coming
through,
through,
you've got what,
you've
like
got what, like
five
5
projects,
projects,
or is this
or is
six?
this 6? Good question. Is this my fifth? One, two. Let's see. I got Super Sister 2020, The Best Part, Return of the Super Sister, and Mother Tongue. So Mother Tongue is the fifth.
Okay, so it's the
Okay,
fifth.
so it's the fifth.
Through all of that,
Through
you've
all of that,
been
you've
a
been a
producer,
producer,
and
and
there's this whole
there's this whole
conversation about
conversation about
there's no women
there's no women
producers.
producers. They
So
lying.
I would like
So I
you
would
to
like
speak
you
to
to speak to
being a woman
being a
producer
woman
all of that
producer
time,
all of that time,
and being an
and being an
MC
MC
and a
and a
producer.
producer.
You know what I mean? Like
You know
that
what I
whole
mean?
thing.
Like
Can you
that
speak
whole
to all
thing. Can you
that?
speak to all that? That's I'm gonna tell you, being a producer for me has been a bit of a struggle. Because I've come up doing music ever since I was young. And one of the things about making beats that I was never really that comfortable with was sampling. I was never really that comfortable with sampling music because I didn't want to deal with, any repercussions of somebody trying to sue you or say you can't use the song. And also I kind of, at a time, I'm not saying completely and always, but at a time I felt that it took away from the creativity that you could express as a producer, to show your ability to come up with your own melodies, with your own bass lines, with your own drum, loops and so forth. Now, one thing that I do and I have done for years is I will use a piece of music or a sample to spark my creativity. So it's like I'll have that sample there and I might play my own little rendition of a melody that matches that, or I might come up with my own bass line that I think matches that song. So it's kind of like once I do that, I kind of come up with a skeleton of what I hear based off of that music. Then I would kind of push the sample out. I push the sample out, and then I would continue to create, my own instrumentation on top of that. So I think that in hip hop, at least especially in the I don't know, because they used samples a long time ago too. Back in the day, samples were big too. But back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, you also could hear a lot of original music that didn't have the samples in it. You could hear some of that. You still hear some of it now, but you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that I've always kind of had, honestly, I'm just being honest right now. I've kind of had an insecurity about myself in terms of being a beat creator, making beats that MCs like, where they like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, So it kind of, I don't know. It's like it took away from me really getting myself out there as a producer because, I make the songs or whatever, and you'd have people give their input or their credit of how they feel about it. But it's like I never really got the overwhelming love for my beats. So, that kind of took me now at the same time, though, that took me to a point where it was like, okay, well, fine. Y'all don't need, that's for me. That's my music. I don't want to give y'all my beats anyway. So, whatever. I like it. It makes me create the stuff I create that I come up with. So, I've had a struggle. I've had a struggle with just my own, and it's not my confidence in my ability to make music, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I could outdo more than half of these. They can't even read music, you know what I'm saying? I can read scales and everything. But in terms of that sound, that boom bap and that, the sampled sound and the certain whatever, I've had struggles with feeling confident in my own ability to do that. However, I also can say through the years, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that they love, different music, different songs that I create. A lot of the ones that don't have samples in them at all. It's just, stuff that's created off of my own brain. So it's hard. It's not easy. And I think too, as being a woman, people don't expect you to make the beats. I think, I don't know, maybe a lot of people don't even know that I make most of the beats or a lot of the beats that I had, on my previous albums, especially. I only do 4 on Mother Tongue. But, I don't think they're thinking about, oh, okay, I wonder, did she do the beats too? Because that's not a common thing for women to do beats. So it's been a struggle.
And for women to do the beats that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because your beats are real
True.
cerebral.
I'm kind of gutter. I'm kind of from Detroit, I'm from, but I just like that authentic sound. I like that authentic sound. I don't like too much sparkle and glimmer and gleam. I don't like that. I don't like too many samples. I hate when I hear beats and it's like a voice all over it. Like, somebody will just sample. Now, don't get me wrong. I've used some songs that have obvious samples where you like, oh, I know where that came from. But I don't really like the obvious samples where it's like, okay, that's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, that's this, that's that. I like to kind of, come up with something new because it's a lot of, I mean, even though there's what, only, is it 8 notes, 7 notes? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A. So there's only 7 notes that we use when you create music. You use A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And, you have the variation of sharps and flats, but it's the same 7 notes that we use over and over again to create this wide multitude and spectrum of music, from hip hop to rock and roll to country to the same 7 notes, orchestrated music. We use these same notes to create all these variations of music. So it just seems like there's a place for that. There's a place for new ideas, for new creation, for new melodies, not just the same repetitive, repeated stuff over and over again. I don't
And
know if I
so,
spoke to what you just spoke on, but I was just speaking from the heart right there.
yeah, always from the heart. It's the best. And so I wanted to hear a little bit, just a little bit about this project,
I
and
feel like this gnat harassing me over here.
I wanted to just hear. This will be like my last question, but this project,
Okay.
who is your inspiration, or who is this project for?
Who is it for?
Yeah.
Me. This is for me. Like, no, really, because like I told you, it started off as therapy. It wasn't supposed to be an album. It started off as a way for me to escape the anxiety and the, just like, oh, what's going on? What's going on with this pandemic? Like, oh, I don't want to get, Because I'm telling you, I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I wash off my groceries. Okay. I get my groceries delivered. I don't go to the grocery store. I get my groceries delivered. And when they come to my home, I don't take them from the person who delivered them. I pick them up off. I tell them just leave them at the porch. I pick them up off the porch. I take my disinfectant wipes. I wipe everything down. I wash my hands. I'm not playing. I am not playing with no coronavirus, no COVID, no Omicron, no, I don't care what it is. I'm not playing. Y'all can play, but I'm not playing. So, it's just like that. It's just like that for me.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, and that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
I mean, that
I
you
mean,
made
That you
music
made
for
music for
yourself,
yourself,
and then
I
you
had
and
shared
then
to.
you
it,
shared it,
I
right?
had to. I mean,
right?
it was therapy. I needed to. I needed to feel like something else than just mommy. I was feeling like 24/7 mommy. That's all you do. That's your job. That's it. You don't have nothing else. It's just mommy. And along with all the other scares and stuff that we were going through with the pandemic, it was like I got to do something to ease me to be myself again, to feel more like myself. So the album is for me. But also I think in a secondary way it's for my sisters. It's for women. I'm kind of speaking to, I think, a lot, some of the unspoken, ideas and feelings that women have, especially black women. Okay, primarily black women. And then a lot, I do speak to, my brothers too. So it's not to discount the brothers, because I'm sure they'll be able to hear things on there where they're like, yeah, I can relate that. I feel that. I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and
thank
thank
you
you,
for that
thank you for
project.
that
Thank you for
project.
giving
Thank you
us
for
that.
giving us that.
No doubt.
Um,
Um,
and so I know you
and so
got
I know you
what you
got
got to
got
do
to
because you
do
got to get
because you
back
got to
to the
get back to the
mothering.
mothering.
Yes.
And so thank you for
So thank
spending
you
this
for spending
time.
this
I definitely
time. I
appreciate
definitely
you.
appreciate
Can you
you.
give
Can
us
you give us
again, because you
again,
have this
because
new
you have this new
podcast
podcast
that you want us to
that
check
Yes.
you want us
out,
to check
Women in Hip
out,
Hop.
Women in Hip
Give
Hop.
us all the
Give us
places
all the
where we need
places
to
where we need to
support you,
support you,
buy
buy
something,
something,
and
and
help you get some
help
more
you get some
delivered
more
groceries.
delivered groceries.
No doubt. Well, y'all can the hub for any and everything that I do will be www.nigeriaearth.com. Okay, and that's my name, NJERIEARTH. www.nigeriaearth.com. I pretty much have everything that I'm doing on there. But I'm on Bandcamp, I'm on Sound, I'm on wherever they at, I'm at. Wherever there's music, you're gonna find me, Apple, wherever. The podcast, that's gonna be through Spotify. They have a new platform, a video platform that they started. So I'll be doing partial video and partial audio podcast. The video podcast will pretty much be like interviews. And when I do the audio versions, and that's why I got with the whole thing with Spotify, because they have it where you can actually, any of the music that's on Spotify, you can incorporate that into your show. So right now, this is a shout out for any of my women in hip hop, MCs, not even just MCs per se. You could be a vocalist, a singer, or whatever, but um, if you are interested at all in having your music heard, I mean, I might put your music on anyway, because if it's on Spotify, I could put it on. I don't need your permission. But if you, by any chance you got like a new project coming out, or you had it's something useful that we can possibly sit down and speak to you about, you can definitely hit me up on the email for the show. It's the mother tongue show at gmail.com. And I'm looking for talent. I'm looking for women. I'm gonna try to reach out to, I mean, I'm gonna try to get Queen Latifah on the show if I can. Lauren. I want to get Lauren on the show. I'm trying to do that. But I also want to also speak to my sisters who are underground, who don't get that notoriety and that push. Just women from all aspects of hip hop.
Thank you for
Thank
that,
you
and
for
thank you
that,
for
and
being
thank
on
you
the
for being on
show.
the show.
Yes.
Piper Carter
Piper Carter
Podcast. We
Podcast. We
had the
had
privilege
the
and
privilege
honor
and honor
Njeri
Njeri
Earth.
Earth.
So
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we got to do this again. And anything you do, I'm on it. I'm supporting it. So thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Thank you so much, Piper. Love you.
Love you and love your babies.
Peace. Y'all be
Peace.
good.
And thank you to all the listeners. Peace.
Peace.